Thank you for inviting me to share some thoughts on women's leadership, economic, and financial inclusion. Dear sisters, we want us women to be treated equally as human beings and not as invisible machines to serve the rights, entitlements, and privileges of men. Women's invisibility in economy, invisibility in politics, this is also violence. For example, women do 70% or more of hard labor in agriculture, but it is men who are often referred to as farmers, and they own lands, they have land rights, money, and decision making authority, and power and control over money, land, and resources. And of course, power over women. Women are also invisible carers of our family, whether it is the older men in the house, or the youngest child, or the livestock. We are the carers with no one to care for ourselves. And above all, we are unpaid carers. Look at the healthcare workforce. Majority are women, be it frontline community healthcare workers or nurses or other paramedical staff. But healthcare sector is dominated by men when it comes to resources, control and power over money, decision-making authority. We are all aging since we were born. So the violence of inequality and injustice we experience as a newborn girl and as we age through the life cycle or life course also grows when we become more vulnerable with age. Economic power is important if we are not to be dependent on men. It becomes even more important when our vulnerabilities grow, such as when we need healthcare. As older women, we also need to be economically self-reliant to age with dignity and rights. We are not asking for mercy, but our due rights to live and age with grace, dignity, and human rights. I repeat that. That is why now all governments have been negotiating a legally binding treaty on older persons and human rights, and the negotiations began last month. As women, first we have to realize our own worth and assert our power to get our legitimate dues, rights, entitlements, and privileges as equal human beings. We all want gender justice, right? But we also need to understand that gender justice is directly related to social justice, health justice, economic justice, redistributive justice, climate justice, and above all, accountability to peoples. We demand not only economic justice, but also redistribution of power, money, and other resources equitably. We cannot have 1% male rich and elite to control power and money and resources where 99% of other humanity lives on their mercy. Let us take a moment now to remind ourselves that patriarchy is the root cause of all problems everywhere. Because of patriarchy, we feel, or made to feel rather, that men are better in managing finances, in owning lands, cars, motorcycles. Because of patriarchy, we are brainwashed since our birth that boys and men can have leisure time, weekends, take rest, but our work never ends. And if we ever want to take some leisure time off, there is a feeling of guilt in our minds that we are letting our housework suffer because of that small little leisure we wanted for ourselves. And as it is said, man works from sun to sun, but a woman's work is never done. And it is patriarchy because of which unpaid care work, unpaid household work, unpaid child rearing work is all thrust upon women and women alone. And we are supposed to feel guilty if we are not able to manage all this unpaid work properly because of our jobs. Because we have to be so called good wife, as patriarchy defines it, good mother, as patriarchy defines it, whether or not we are working and earning from our jobs. Let us encourage our daughters to grow up as equal children, have career goals, and also right to education so that they can pursue and realize their dream goals. Let us also bring up our sons that they are born equal to our daughters and have no special privileges, rights, and entitlements just because they are born male. We have to stop being invisible, whether it is economy or political decision making. Invisibility is also a form of sinister violence. Let us end all forms of gender based violence. And before I end, let us remember that charity begins at home. We have to take and assert our rights. In my own personal life, I have tried I have tried to imbibe at least some of these. I did not get deterred by the stereotype social norms, and I earned my own living, and I still do even now. And I lead an independent life that is not dominated by others, but one which does not harm anyone else also. It has been a difficult path, but worth following. I might have got bruised a lot, but I stand undefeated, even though there is a long way to go. So, as sisters, persisters, and resistors, let us make this happen to all women. Thank you.